Hello, hello. Welcome back to Moonlit Path Tarot. So today we're just going to do a quick energy check-in, see where you're at, maybe your recent past. Yeah, let's start there. Spirit, for the collective, please tell me a little bit about their recent past energy. Okay, Four of Cups. What else? Recent past. Well, let's see. I typically don't read reversals, so I think we'll just stick to that right now. So Four of Cups, the Wheel, and the Star. So you might be an Aquarius, but it looks like for your recent past, this is kind of like my being a brat card, this Four of Cups. So this is kind of like not liking what you're being offered, or not paying attention to what somebody's giving you. So maybe you weren't liking your offers in the past, or you weren't happy with where you were. But it looks like either with someone or something, but it looks like your recent past, looks like the wheel is going to start turning in your favor. You might be an Aquarius, like I said, or you just might be keeping faith that whatever was going on in the past. We got the Star twice and the Fool. So hold on. Let me get a clarifier for this one, actually. Spirit, can you clarify the Four of Cups for me for the collective's recent past? Okay, well, that's pretty obvious. Oh my gosh. Oh my God. Okay, well, sheesh. It looks like you recently became single with this Nine of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck, but literally the Tower and Ten of Swords. So in your recent past, you were backstabbed or betrayed by somebody, or you were just going through a very challenging time with somebody. Maybe they weren't, maybe you were putting effort in and they weren't paying attention to it, or they weren't reciprocating it. And all of this came crumbling down because the Tower is, you can't build like a home or a foundation on unstable ground, because it'll eventually come crashing down, right? So it's like forced change. It's not a bad card. It's definitely a good card. It's the universe's way of getting you off the track you're on to the path you need to be. But most of the time it doesn't feel comfortable. We'll say that. It doesn't feel great a lot of the time. So it looks like something came to an end. With this backstabbing, this betrayal, and then it looks like, even though this is your very recent past, so it looks like things are going to start turning in your favor, and you might get some sort of wish fulfillment. It looks like you're in the single energy, Star and Star. So let's see. Tell me, when I was doing the pre-shuffle, this card flew out, and the Sun was also out, right? So it flew out and touched the Fool, which is a new beginning, so a wish fulfillment and a new beginning, and the Sun was also out, which was the happiest card in the deck. So it looks like this past was rough, was a really rough time for you, but it looks like karma's going to start turning in your favor. Things are going to start going your way, because you are the Star. If you're an Aquarius, you are the Star. This is 16 and this is 17. So the Aquarius comes, the Star, the hope, the faith, the renewal comes after the Tower. So in your current energy, even if you don't feel it right now, the wheel is going to start turning in your favor. So tell me, and it looks like I said, you're in this abundant single energy. So let's see. Tell me a little bit about the collective's current energy, please. Current energy? Okay. All right. So we have the Devil, which is Capricorn. We have Two of Cups, and we have the Chariot. So it looks like you might currently, maybe you feel a little stuck, but this tells me it looks like you are leaving this Devil energy in the past, because it goes Devil, Two of Cups, and this is overcoming obstacles through determination and willpower. So it looks like to me this Devil energy is of the past. So it looks like you may have felt stuck. You may have felt like your hands were tied, like you couldn't get up, but ultimately this is her holding herself back. So you may have had some kind of realization that the way things were in the past is not how they need to be currently or even in the future. Like, you're allowed to, if you feel like this and you have like a Tower moment where everything comes crumbling down, you're allowed to pick up the pieces and just kind of sit in this energy of feeling that emotion, because you can't block that out, right? If you feel something and you pretend like it's not happening, or like it doesn't exist, that's how people get sick, right? So it looks like this Devil energy, you're getting over that, or you're getting ready to meet a soulmate, or you're going to have some kind of contract with something. because this is overcoming obstacles through determination and willpower. So let's see. Tell me more. Actually, tell me about this devil and their current energy, please. Judgment. Okay. Yeah. So with the devil, see the sun, like I just said, the happiest card in the deck, bottom of the deck. This is really going to start turning around for you. It didn't feel good when it happened, but trust me, it was for the best. Whatever person, place, thing you were at, that wasn't it for you. Because with the Judgment card, this is like the universe sees what's going on. The universe sees what's happening, right? And on top of that, this is like a card of like needing to be honest with yourself about how or why something happened. So it looks like you were honest with yourself about this toxic, negative past energy, and it looks like you were overcoming this in your current energy, which is going to have an outcome of the sun, bottom of this deck. So tell me more about the collective's next 6 months. Let's go next 6 months. Okay. Queen of Swords. Awesome. What else? Awesome. Justice. Wow. Bottom of the deck. Wishes granted. Wish fulfillment, right? This is wishes granted. This is having your cups overflowing, basically, right? But this is like a single energy. So within the next 6 months, this is air and Libra. So the Aquarius, the Queen of Swords, she basically will use this sword of truth to cut anything out of her life that's negative or toxic or basically just not for her. And it looks like you are honest and you have integrity about whatever it is that you're overcoming, whatever it is that you're going through. And you're going to get some form of justice for this because, like I said, the universe saw what's going on. They saw what happened. They saw that the way you handled this tower moment, the way you handled whatever happened to you in the past that caused you to feel backstabbed and betrayed, they saw it. They noticed it. They noticed that, they saw how you didn't go and like, slander somebody or talk shit about them or, like run around to anybody who would listen, telling them what an awful person they were. You just kind of kept to yourself. You took that in stride and you decided, I'm not going to sit in this energy. I'm going to move forward and I'm going to do it in a way that feels good to my character, right? Because this is also somebody who has great communication. So the universe has taken notice and you're going to get some form of justice in the next 6 months. You got the sun on the bottom of this deck, the star on the bottom of this deck, which is wish fulfillment, wishes granted, the happiest card in the deck. So like, oh my gosh, this tower sucks. I know it sucks. It really does. But it's really for our best interest, even though it may not feel like it at the time. Like, if you could see in the future what going through this has helped you or how it's helped you, and like, you would be grateful for it. You know what I mean? You most of the time can look back on the past and negative things that happened and say, I am grateful for that experience because it taught me this so that I don't repeat that in the future, if that makes sense. So tell me a little bit more about the collective's next 6 months. Okay? Oh, okay, cool. So it looks like you are getting ready to harvest your seeds that you've planted that are coming to fruition, right? This is talking about, it's a little bit of patience, right? It's waiting for what you've planted to come to harvest, but it's also a sign to keep going. A sign to keep going as she's walking away. So this is talking about this Ace of Cups. Walking away from what is no longer emotionally fulfilling to us, what is no longer in our best interest or for our highest good. So this is a sign from the universe to keep going. They're noticing what you're doing. They're seeing what you're doing. And you're going to get some form of justice for it. Tell me a little bit more about the collective's next 6 months. Judgment. Again, I can't be any more clear. Your guides, your angels, your ancestors, they see what you're doing and they're proud of you. And you will be rewarded for this. You will be rewarded for having morals and having integrity and having good character when maybe other people weren't that way towards you, right? It's really hard sometimes to not want to like be petty when people when we feel backstabbed, when we feel betrayed. It's really easy to want to be petty and to take it there, but the universe has noticed twice. You're getting double confirmation twice. They've noticed that you didn't take it there and that you're a higher vibrational person in this day and time, right? So this talks about releasing burdens from the past and taking only what's necessary for the future. And this is literally a card of travel, which is, do I stay where I'm at in my comfort zone or do I venture out and see what else is out there for me? It's also taking inspired action towards our goals and dreams. So tell me a little bit more about that. Let's get a couple more. Wow. Yeah, awesome. Okay, see? So the Four of Swords, she's protecting her heart. There's nothing, the things are never piercing her, right? Her heart is protected. She's resting, recuperating. She is taking a time out, right? And then again, the single energy, this Nine of Pentacles, is abundance. It's fruitful energy. It's somebody harvesting their pentacles that they've planted that are now coming to fruition, right? And then again, the Fool is taking a giant leap of faith. It's a brand new beginning. This is Aquarius, or you could be Aries, I suppose. And this is like something that's important to us, but it's also something good, something new that's on the horizon. It's a brand new beginning. And you got the Ten of Swords again, which doesn't mean that somebody in the future is going to be backstabbing you. What this really tells me is that this also interprets this as challenging times coming to an end. So you having this challenging time in the past that is coming to an end. Oh, that makes me so happy for you. One more. Let's get a couple more. Okay. Okay, yeah. Awesome. So you are, again, manifesting your desires into reality, and you have every tool you need to make that happen and to make your dreams possible. Taking inspired action towards your goals and dreams and manifesting them into reality. And then this talks about that you could be a Taurus, you could be meeting a Taurus, but this kind of talks about commitment, higher levels of commitment, right? You're committing to moving forward. This is moving forward. It's accepting help. It's like a card of transition. It's coming out of stormy weather into calmer waters. So this tells me that you're committing to moving forward, moving on and leaving the past behind. And this usually can talk about a relationship. So like moving on from a tumultuous relationship, right? So maybe you were in a tumultuous relationship with a Taurus, or maybe you're just committing to moving forward and getting to this sun and this wish fulfillment and this Nine of Cups energy for yourself. And you're certainly manifesting that into reality, and you have all the tools you need to make that happen. So that's a really good place to leave this. I love this for you guys. So now what we'll do is I will go ahead and I will get some significant numbers as well as some initials, and this is just extra confirmation. So if you get one or both, great. If you don't get either, but this still resonated, that's totally fine. All right, here we go. All right, so we have 6, 4, 20, 7, 19. So you might be 24, 26, 27 in your 20s. The 19th, the 20th, the 4th, the 6th, the 7th might be significant. So Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Taurus, Aries, and again the 20th or in your 20s or the 19th might be significant. All right, so now we will go ahead and we will get some initials. So for the initials we have, just do them all at once. A, B, E, W, K, T, another B, L, G, X, H, another K, M, Y, another Y, another L, another G, S, we'll do one more, another A, Z. So we have 2 A's, 2 B's, E, W, 2 K's, M, S, Z, 2 Y's, 2 H's, X, 2 G's, L, and T, or 2 L's and T. All right, collective, that is where I will leave this reading for you. Feel free to check back for the next one. And as always, as above, so below, as within, so without, as the universe, so the soul.